What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be slightly different. I'm going to be installing and talking about these billet aluminum throttle and iBR actuators made by Riptide Technologies. I've been actually looking at these for quite some time now, mainly because I just wanted to kind of give a cosmetic but functional upgrade to my 2024 RX-TX. The factory plastic actuators, they're perfectly fine, but they just, you know, they look and they feel cheap, plus they fade in the sun, they give that weird look to them. And these are made out of billet aluminum, 6061 aluminum. But the cool thing about these is that the sensitivity is actually adjustable. You can see we have three different types here. We have a high resistance, the one that's on here right now is a medium resistance, and then there's a low resistance as well. And this is something I recently found out you can actually change, which is pretty nice because, you know, for those of you who know, if you're racing, you want to have kind of a more tight feel to your throttle so that you get more response. Or if you're just going for like a casual cruise and you want a very low resistance spring rate, you can adjust that and you can put these on here as well. So I'm going to be installing these with the medium spring rate, just because I kind of do a mix of both. I mainly ride for recreation, but every once in a while it's good to go with a nice rip, and I want to get that more fine, crisp control. But the look and feel of these things is just incredible, and I like being able to support these guys as well because it's a small business, which is kind of rare for the hobby today. The owner, Eric Millers, he's a 15-year engineering expert. He manufactures these parts, and he has quite a bit of offerings. I've been looking at the throttle actuators for quite some time now, but there are some other things he offers, and I'll show you that in a minute. But to install these, it's very, very simple. I'm going to work on my ski now. I've been wanting to install these for a while, but it's been raining, of course. So we're going to go ahead and do this today. So I'm going to put the camera down, and I'm going to show you some of the other offerings he has, just because I think it's pretty cool what he's doing for the hobby. Alright, so these are the actuators that I decided to go with. You can see the listing here. There's actually two designs. There's the Moto X, and then there's the double trigger. I decided to go with the Moto X, just because I would like to have a little bit longer control arm. But if you want to kind of get close to what the factory size is with additional control, the double trigger is probably going to be the one you want to go with. So I obviously went with the neon yellow to match my ski. But there's quite a few options for whatever you want to go with. If you want to match your factory color, you can do that. Or if you want to go with a simple color like black, they also have that as well. And you can see the different options he has here. Another one that I've been kind of eyeing up is the rear Insta360 camera mount that goes right into your ski pylon pole. Because I do have a 360 camera, but you know, I don't want to just hold the pole as I'm riding, so that'd be a nice offering. And you can see he also offers a front Insta360 mount, as well as a few different rear ski pylon mount covers for ventilation. So if you were interested in getting some additional ventilation into your ski without just taking the cover off or putting a frog skin vent cover, that's something you can absolutely do. This is one I've been looking at for a while. You can see it just looks... Cosmetically, it looks so much better than just taking the ski pylon cover off, which is pretty much what I do. But without further ado, I'll also put a link to what I bought in the description in case you guys are interested in installing these on your ski. But without further ado, let's go ahead, we'll get to the install. Alright, so the install process will vary depending on which ski you have, but it's fairly similar once you get started. So the first thing we're going to do on my RX-TX is remove the two T30 bolts holding in the faceplate here. So let's go ahead, we'll pull that off, and I'll show you what we need to do next. Alright, once those screws are out, all we need to do is kind of pull down and lift out. There's a little lip under here that's holding this faceplate on, so you'll see, pull down, lift out. We'll do that on both sides, just like that. We'll go ahead and lift the cushion slash faceplate, whatever you want to call that thing. And then you're going to see we have two bolts under here, one for the left, one for the right hand side. So we'll pull that off, and then I'll show you what the step is to remove this cover, which is what we need to get to. With those two 8mm screws removed, we can go ahead, and there's another tab up here that's going to be holding this plastic piece on. we need to get that out. So what we're going to do is kind of pull it towards us and then go out that way. It's a little odd to explain, so I'm going to try to record this so you can see what I'm talking about. Next step is to remove the top plate of the handlebars. There's going to be 4 snaps holding this in place. One of them is here, one's on the other side, and then if you look under the handlebar assembly, there's going to be 2 keyhole slots. All you need to do is use a flathead screwdriver, move it in to pull that tab out, and then that top plate will remove basically. I'll go ahead and try to get that on camera as well. The last piece holding this top trim in is a clip that's on both sides here. It's a little small to get through with a screwdriver, so it helps to have some kind of pick or something like that. I'm going to try to get this on camera, but the GoPro's in the way. We'll see. We're just going to push it in and push it out. You'll see this is the trim here, so when you stick this toothpick looking thing in, you're going to push up against that piece, and then this whole top trim will just break right off. And now with all of the trim removed, we can see exactly what we're going to be getting to, which is your IBR on this side and your throttle on the other side. So very, very simple to get to. I believe this is a 8mm. Let me verify that. Yes, it's just an 8mm bolt holding that in. I'm going to pop this out and we're going to put the new one in. And while I'm here, I'm also probably going to put a little bit of grease on there just to help with the actuating. But first, let me go ahead and remove this and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Alright, so here we can see the side-by-side difference. We have our factory plastic ones, very, very lightweight, and we have the much nicer billet aluminum ones that we're going to go ahead and install. So you'll see that U-joint right there. That's where the sensor is actually mounted, which is this guy right here. The brake and throttle sensors, these guys here are HAL sensors, which are very, very accurate and sensitive. So that U-coupling is going to sit right in here. But first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put a little bit of marine grease in here just to help it out and make it feel a little bit nicer. Alright, next we can go ahead and install the actuator. We want to take note to make sure the actual sensor is going to fly through. We'll slide it in just like that, and there we go. So included in the kit is a washer, spacer, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go ahead and put that in there, and then we'll tighten this top nut down. Now keep in mind, you don't want to tighten this too much. You just want to get it snug enough that it's not going to back off on you. So tighten it down, but don't do it too tight. And there we go. That is feeling very, very nice. I put a little bit of grease in there, not too much, so you can just see the difference. Pull this off. So that's our upgraded one, and then we have our factory stock, very weak and dumb looking one. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I'll do that off the camera since it's basically the same exact process. I almost forgot to mention that since we have the cover off here, I'm just going to spray a little bit of white lithium grease into the steering collar. It's a plastic bearing, so it's nice to lube that up every once in a while, working in. It's not obviously the full length of the steering. It does pass all the way through down to the front, but I have it off. It's nice to just give that something to work with every once in a while. Work it in. It prevents your steering from squealing, especially if you ride in salt, because the salt will crystallize in there. And over time, you're basically just wearing away at the plastic shaft. So give that a nice little squirt, and it's already feeling a lot less loose than it was, which is nice. And assembly from here is just going to be the opposite of what we did. So the first piece to go back is going to be your lower trim. You just want to make sure you get those plastic tabs lined up before you press it in. So let's go ahead and do that. Next pieces are going to be your left and right trim control plastics. So you want to make sure that these buttons did not fall out when you removed the trim, because they are just kind of sitting in place. They're held in place with the bezel. So just make sure they are lined up. And then we're going to start at the bottom, just like that, to get it lined up in there. And then we can go ahead and pull it around and snap in at the top. So just make sure your buttons are aligned and everything still works. Let's go ahead and do the other side as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and tighten down those two 8mm bolts that we're holding the bezels in. Next, we have our, whatever you want to call this, head stop, bump stop, handlebar rest. But essentially, it's just going to sit on the lip at the very top. You'll see this little indentation. The top will just sit over it like that. And then we're going to pull the bottom down until it snaps into place. And then we just have to put our two T30 bolts in. Alright guys, and that is pretty much it. This is one of those functional and cosmetic upgrades that you can do in less than 15 minutes. Really kind of transforms the look of your handlebars, especially if you go with a different color, but the feel is also significantly improved as well. So if you guys are interested in doing this for your own, I'll put the links to the parts in my description, and for reference, I'm actually using the medium springs, which is fairly similar to the stock feel. I would say maybe just a little bit more stiff. So these are the ones I'm definitely going to stick with. I might experiment with the heavy and light springs later, but so far the medium spring is definitely a nice feel. So that's pretty much it for this. If you guys have any questions about the install or the product, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer you.